Have you ever watched a pro and wondered why their gameplay looks so much better than yours? I understand that because I've been there. And I've spent 100 hours looking at pro players' gameplay like Abezy, Dashy, Pred, and so many others, and these are the tips that I found to help you. Have you ever watched the pros shoot their gun and it looks like it shoots for them? Then you load into a game and it looks nothing similar. Well, I'm here to tell you that they abuse the aim assist mechanic in more ways than one. And the best part about this, it's so easy to break the mechanic that you can do it also. Now for starters, they adjust their settings. They start with adjusting their dead zone inputs, and pros are playing between 0.75 to 0.85 left maximum, and about 0.8 to 0.9 right maximum. And minimum will depend heavily on the controller you're using and the amount of stick drift you're getting. You'll have to mess with that yourself. Next, they abuse what's called Rotational Aim Assist, and if you don't know what that is, Aim Assist only activates in this game when you are moving. Meaning you have to move that left stick of yours, left, right, in a circle, whatever it may be. It's got to be moving constantly whenever you're aiming down sights to get that aim assist. And that's why we adjusted our dead zone earlier, to make sure that that left stick would activate the movement of you moving it quicker, to get aim assist faster than your opponent and outgun them. So I'm sorry to say, sitting in a corner holding that ankle doesn't work anymore. You've got to be moving that left stick, otherwise you'll get outgunned by someone abusing the second tip on this list. Have you ever heard the saying, Hipfire more? You probably have, but no one even explained why you were to Hipfire to begin with. You've probably even lost fights where it felt like there was no way that they hit all those shots that quick. And the reason for that is something called bullet magnetism. And the best thing about this mechanic is it's super easy to abuse, and the saying less is more applies here. You simply just need to center your dot near the enemy, and then hip fire as you are aiming in. And your bullets basically magnetize to your enemies for the first 2 to 3 bullets as you're hip firing, giving you that upper hand by 2 to 3 shots, giving you time to aim in and finish those last 1 to 2 shots to finish your enemy. And this is insanely broken and very easy to abuse, and will help you against anyone that doesn't understand this mechanic. There's a saying, I'm sure you've heard it, slow and steady wins the race, but it doesn't apply in Call of Duty. There's something called Peeker's Advantage, and basically it allows you to see them and get the information before they do, and it's extremely broken when done correctly. The best part about it, it's probably the easiest tip on this list that you can take advantage of and implement into your gameplay right now. So Peeker's Advantage is relying heavily on the ping of the server between you and the guy you're shooting at. So let's say you're both playing and you have 20 ping and your opponent has 30 ping. If you walk forward, it's going to take you 20 milliseconds for your PC to register to the server that you walked forward. Fast forward to your opponent playing on the other side on a 30 ping, you walk forward, it takes that 20 milliseconds it took you to register to the server, but it takes an additional 30 milliseconds for your opponent to register on his PC that you walked forward, for a total of 50 milliseconds before you register on that enemy screen, compared to the 20 milliseconds it took for you to get that information where he was. I know this sounds complicated, but in theory, those who move first and faster win. If you've ever struggled to narrow down where enemies are going to be pushing, this next tip will solve that problem for you, giving you legal wall hacks. Reading the kill feed is simply taking the amount of enemies on the other team, and every time one goes down, you then read the minimap, judging where your teammates are. You can then tell where the enemies are going to be spawning. You can count the kill feed 1 through 4 as to how many enemies are dead, and know how many you're looking for at that current spawn point that they're spawning at based on the minimap. This is crucial, especially playing a role like an SMG. You'll want to be prepared and know how to engage in those fights where you're cutting corners close to spawn, and then as an AR, even more crucial because you can cut the map into 4 quadrants and then you can simply kill them off spawn. Now this tip goes hand in hand with tip number 4. Looking at minimap every 2 to 3 seconds is ideal. So a lot of people don't look at their minimap enough, so some don't even look at it at all. You should be checking the minimap every 2 to 3 seconds, not just for red dots. You should be checking for where your teammates are, judging by where they are at, and then reading the kill feed like mentioned in tip 4. You can then predict where they're going to spawn. Cut the map and get easy kills while they're coming off spawn like I mentioned also in tip number 4. Really quick, I just want to stop the video for 10 seconds to let you know that if you're finding any of this helpful, I do offer one-on-one coaching on Fiverr. The link for that can be found in my YouTube bio. This next tip is the glue that holds everything together, and without it, all else would fail. Centering and aim training is what I'm referring to, and this tip goes not unnoticed, but not given the credit that it's deserved, and it's absolutely the most important part of your individual gameplay performance. You can have all of the strategy in the world, but you've got to have the aim training to be able to shoot when the time comes. Pros load into a private match with bots every day for at least 10 to 15 minutes and put the health on 300, and they practice consistently shooting straight at one single enemy, and on top of that they're practicing things like centering and keeping that center dot at the chest level, as well as centering on points of interest on the map, which are like funnels like doorways, windows, and stairs that people are typically going to be sitting at. And lastly, this is kind of a special one for me because it goes without being talked about so much. The last thing is VOD review, or video on demand review. So you essentially are recording and replaying and looking over your gameplay. Pros spend just as much time watching VOD as they do playing the game itself, and I cannot stress the importance of this enough. This is really what sets the top players apart from everyone else. They watch back their gameplay, seeing what they could have done differently in that situation, what angle they could have held differently, what bit of information you missed, to make sure that for that next time you're in that position, you're prepared for it. It is the most important part of Call of Duty once you've got a grip on the aim training and centering, in my opinion. Comment below what tip was most helpful for you that you didn't know about. And if you did enjoy this type of content, please drop a like and a sub to let me know. With that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.